Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today is really special for me because lots of people have been asking about how to make a Chinese curry. Well, this one comes from my own family, my granddad's own recipe, which is passed down throughout the family to my mum and now to me, and I am about to give it to you. So from my heart to yours, let's go and make this curry. Right, my little chow with flowers, this is gonna unveil the secrets of the fabled Chinese curry. Actually, it's a Chinese Malaysian curry. If you know anything about Malaysia, it's got a real mixture of people, Chinese, Indian, all from Southeast Asia and that kind of part of the world. And that means there's a big fusion of foods and cultures that mix, which is the beauty of it. So obviously we've got some Indian influence here and we've got some Chinese influence here, which is combined to make this, which I think is the best curry sauce in the world. So the way we make it is we're going to kind of make it on an industrial level, but don't let that scare you off, because it's going to create a base, like a concentrate of curry, which means that you can store it, you can freeze it, it'll last for months in the freezer, and it'll last in your fridge for at least a week. Because of the nature of curry, there's lots of natural preservatives, so don't be afraid of making loads, it'll last you for ages. What we're going to need is a litre of cooking oil, a whole litre of cooking oil. Okay, we're also going to need a fair amount of plain flour. Okay, unspecified amount, because I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Don't worry so much about the quantities of flour, just make sure you got at least half a bag, you'll be fine. Okay, here we have our curry powder. I'm using a mild madras curry powder. Again, if you want a slightly spicier curry, you can use a hotter curry powder. But the other thing about these curries is when you come to make the curry proper, when you come to make your chicken curry, king prawn curry, beef curry, whatever, you can add more heat to it then. This is just your base kind of level, if you like. As long as you don't, if you make it too hot now, it's harder to make it milder later without diluting all the flavour out of it. So what I would do is make a fairly mild base, and you can spice it up with chili powder when you come to make your curry proper. Okay. Having said that, I've got 2 large tablespoons of chili powder. Bear in mind, again, we're making a lot, so that's not actually going to blow your head off. We've got about one large tablespoon of nutmeg. This is powdered nutmeg. You can grate a whole nutmeg into this if you want, if you can get fresh nutmeg. I couldn't find any, so that's why I'm using powdered. For the fruit, we're going to have 2 apples, 2 oranges, and then we've got 3 chilies. Again, if you want to make it slightly hotter to start with, you can add more, but it's really not that important now, I don't think. We're just kind of layering up the flavors so that we've got a really nice depth of flavor in the curry. We're going to want a whole head of garlic, and we're going to have about, 3 inches of ginger. Okay, 3 bay leaves and 4 star anise. If you've not come across star anise before, it's kind of got an aniseedy kind of flavor, which really adds something to this curry. You really need this. It's very readily accessible in your Chinese supermarkets. Pretty sure that you can get it powdered in most supermarkets, most Western supermarkets as well. So you shouldn't have any problems getting any of that, but please get some. Okay, and last but not least, creamed coconut. Okay, again, I've got this from the Chinese supermarket. Some of the large and normal supermarkets, I should imagine, will stock it, but Chinese supermarkets will definitely stock it. I've got 200 grams here. Okay, right guys, what I've started doing with the ingredients, I've chopped everything up into quarters, right? The oranges are quartered with the peel still on, apple, everything in core still in, even the seeds are still in. It doesn't matter. It's all going to all the flavors are going to come out of there, and then we're going to fish out all the solid bits. Okay, so don't worry about leaving peel in or anything like that. It won't be. The onions are very roughly chopped, as are the chilies. Everything is absolutely kind of really rough and ready, because it doesn't matter. It's just there to imbue the curry with all the flavor, and then we take it out. Okay, so what's left here is the garlic, which all I'm going to do is get the garlic, get my cleaver, and then just whack it down, get it going, get it crushed, and it can all go, take the outer skin off if you like, but that's about it. It'll just again just blip away, giving off all the flavour what's in there. Same with the garlic. What I'm going to do is chop it into 2 chunks here and just give it a crush like that, and then all the flavours are going to come out, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Right guys, so in goes our 1 litre of oil. It seems a lot, but don't be afraid. Heard that somewhere before. So I'm going to get the heat on, and whilst everything is still cold, we can add our aromatics. So in go the garlic, onions, in go the star anise and the bay leaves. And that's it for now. None of the powdered stuff goes in quite yet. Looks a little bit like punch, doesn't it? What we're actually doing is we're just going to gently brown everything off. Okay, so it's like browning everything off like by shallow frying, but with a lot more oil. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Going to blip away, and blip away. Right guys, this has been blipping away for around half an hour now. As you can see, everything's gone nice and caramelized. It's all kind of cooked, if you like, and all those flavors from the apples, the oranges, the chilies, the star anise, the garlic, everything, and the bay leaves have all gone into that oil. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to lower the heat. I'm going to start to fish all the solids out of here. It seems a bit of a waste, but I don't fancy eating that, to be fair. But it's imparted, it should have imparted all the flavours from all those fruits and vegetables and the chilies and everything into the oil, which is going to become the base of our curry. Right guys, on to the next step. Now we're going to start to make this oil into a curry, and first we're going to start adding our plain flour. So I'm going to add it 2 tablespoons at a time. We're going to low heat here, not too hot, we don't want to burn it. And then I'm going to start whisking it in. And it'll end up starting to thicken, like a little bit like a roux, if you know what one of those is. Like a kind of almost like a bechamel. And I'm just going to let it cook out. You can see it starting to firm. I think I can add, that's 4 so far. I think I can add 5, 6. When my mum was explaining to me how to make it, she does everything by feel. When she was working in the industry, she never measured things out on scales. It used to be a ladle of this, a ladle of that, and then a big pinch of this and a big pinch of that, and it's all done by feel. But I remember when I was working with her, or working for her, whichever way you want to look at it, the curry was consistent week after week after week, and it was always really, really nice. So you know, you end up doing these things by feel. So she would never know kind of exactly how much stuff she was putting in. She just did it every week and it became kind of almost like muscle memory, I suppose. I forgot to mention, this curry recipe is totally vegan. Which is good news if you're that way inclined, because then you can add whatever you want. One of my favourites is just a mushroom curry. That's just amazing. I'll definitely show you how to make that. 21, 22. Just gonna stir this in and raise the heat a little bit to see what happens. Because it'll thicken up as it cooks out. It's not bad. I think 2 more is going to do it. Let me check. Okay, so this is 23, 24. Let's go. I think we're there. One more piece of advice that my mum said is that we do not add any water to this at any stage of this particular bit of the recipe. As in, we're making the concentrate, we're making the curry base, okay? Now, the reason why is because you do that when you're making the curry fresh. When you're making your chicken curry, whatever you're doing, you use the water to dilute this base now. And the other thing is, once you start adding water to this, it'll actually reduce the shelf life of this base. Apparently what happens is if you do put water in, it goes moldy, it goes off very, very quickly. So we do not add any water. Don't ask me why. That's what I've been told. As this is happening, as we're blipping away, the flour is cooking within the oil, and that will help it thicken up. It doesn't thicken up immediately, it takes a minute or so. So there might be a delayed effect. You've got to be a little bit careful. Right, I'm going to add 2 more. So what we were at 26, weren't we? So 27, 28. I have no idea what that is in weight, but it's quite easy to figure that out. Oh, okay. There's a change in texture. Now it's going really, really, really gloopy. Okay, I think that's it. 28 tablespoons, 28 large tablespoons. Okay, as much as you can pile into a tablespoon. I would put that into a bowl ready. Now that I've got the figure for you, you can now put that in the bowl ready and then just gradually add it in. You don't have to do it 2 tablespoons at a time. I would just put a little bit in and then stir it a little bit more and keep going until you get this kind of consistency. As you can see, it's like a really thick soup. Right guys, we're going to go to a gentle blip again. We're going to add more of our ingredients. I am going to add the nutmeg, the chili powder, and the curry powder. Okay. We're going to stir that all in. It's going to go really thick now. And again, don't be afraid. This is what's supposed to happen. I'm also going to add the 200 grams of creamed coconut, which will give us our coconutty flavour. It won't be overtly coconutty. It's not going to be a korma, but most of these kind of thick curries do have that kind of coconut undertone. Right, I'm going to switch from whisk because it's gone really gloopy now with the curry powder, and then use a big wooden spoon and stir everything in. Now, this is how I remember it. Yeah, it goes like this. And the smells are really, really familiar now the curry powder is added. And the coconut block, the cream coconut block will melt gradually into that. Okay. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, this takes me back. I haven't smelt this for a very long time. Well, we must be on the right track because it smells familiar. You know, when you have, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like songs and films and food and smells, they take you back to moments in your life, and this certainly does. And I'm hoping maybe you know, obviously most people have had a Chinese curry before. This will take you back to somewhere in your life. I guess that's what food can do for you, really. That's why we sit around the table as a family. And yeah, and make memories. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and yeah, this is this thick because, like I said, this is a concentrate, this is a base. It's not the actual, yeah, it's not the end result. Yeah. Wowee. Oh gosh. Yeah, I haven't practiced this. This is the first time. This is the first time I've made this ever. Ever. I've been meaning to get this recipe off my mum for a very long time, but obviously with the situation in the world, it's been a little bit more difficult. And I wanted to do it face to face. But finally I lost patience and we did a FaceTime call. She ran me through it very patiently. And here we are. I'm just trying to make her proud. This is a mild madras curry powder, like I said before, and it is a nice base for it. Like I said, you don't have to make this, even if you like hot curries, you don't have to make this bit hot. And the beauty of that is, if people in your family don't like it that hot, they can have it mild, and then you can add chilies or chili powder or whatever you want to make it hotter when you make up your actual curry. Oops. So I'm going to blip this away for half an hour. This is going to cook out and blip away for half an hour, and then we are done. Okay, and by that time the coconut will incorporate into this as well. Beautiful. This is perfect. This is exactly how I was hoping it was going to turn out. Right guys, see you on the other side. Right guys, so our curry base is ready. I don't know if that's in focus. I'm trying not to spill it. That was close. Right, I'm gonna pop this into a bowl. Don't forget, this is not your finished curry. This is the base. This is what we make our curries from. Okay, this is where all the flavour is. Okay, I'm going to show you, after I've done this, I'm going to show you how to make a curry sauce from it. And then away you go. Right guys, let's make our curry sauce. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with some cold water. I'm going to pop 2 ladles of cold water into our wok. The reason why I'm using cold water to start with, the wok is not on, the flame is not on, is because the flour in the curry is going to make it hard to dissolve into the water if we use hot water. Bear in mind, I'm using curry that I've just made up the base of. If you've stored it in the fridge, let it cool down, put it in the fridge, or you've frozen it and defrosted it, it's going to change the consistency of the curry. It's going to be quite thick. It's going to be like wet cement. Okay, so when you try to dissolve it in hot water, it's not going to do it very easily. This is a trick my mum taught me. So I've got 2 ladles of cold water in there, no heat. I'm going to put about just about a ladle of the curry concentrate into there, and then we can start working it in. I'm going to put the ladle out there. I'm going to stir it with a wooden spoon. Okay, so we're going to start by working it into the water. Obviously it looks too thin at the moment. Now what we can do as we go, we can add more curry to it. Once we start getting it going, it makes it easier. Okay, so we can start. There we go. We can start by getting that going. And how much curry you need to make, you can put more of the curry base into it. Okay, now that's dissolved, I'm going to add a little bit more of the curry base. Okay, about, I don't know, half to 3/4 we're going to add to this. Not too much, because it will go very thick if we put too much in. Okay, that looks to be about right. Let's get this hot. Add a little bit more water. That's going really thick now. We can add some more water to that. That's it. There we go. And then maybe another one. So that's 3 ladles of water. Is it 3? 3 or 4? I'll have to look back on the video. And 1.5, 1 3/4 of the curry. Let's see how that goes. Okay. That's not too bad actually. Still a bit thick. I think I'm going to have to put a little bit more water in now. So we're going to add another ladle of cold water. Mix that in. Well, I might add just a little bit more water, maybe half a ladle into that. Yeah, we're getting there now. That's nice. That's nice. You can get this to the right consistency for you. It's totally up to you. Okay, and it's going to change. It's going to thicken a little bit more as we heat it up and cook that flour out even more. But that is kind of where I want it. I'm going to add another half ladle just for you guys, because I know that my taste in curry is a little bit thicker than most. Okay, that is about right, I think. Right, to that, I'm going to add, because we've got no salt in here yet, remember. So I'm going to add a good 2 pinches of salt, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of, well, let's put half a tablespoon of sugar in first. And then what I'm going to do is stir that in, and then we're going to taste it. The best thing when we're doing any kind of cooking like this, especially if you've not done it before, is to taste it. That's not bad at all. I'm going to put a bit more salt in. I'm going to put another 2 pinches of salt. It needs more salt. It needs the rest of this sugar, I think, as well. Well, nearly. I think I'm going to put another 1/4 of a tablespoon. I'm going to leave about another 1/4 in there. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I'm also going to add more water because it's thickening up again. There we go. Let's blip it. Get it really, get it boiling, get it blipping away. We're not far off. Okay, this curry has got a little bit of kick to it, I would say. Let's get it all cooked out. This is a nice consistency. Okay. Okay. Needs more salt. So another 2-3 pinches of salt. And the flour is still cooking out in this, so you've got to make sure you blip it. You don't, not just heating it up, you're cooking it out. Okay. And that should end up in a really smooth, nice curry sauce. Right, guys, this is the moment of truth. Let's have a little taste. The proof is in the curry, said no one. Okay, just gonna, it's still quite hot, so I'm just gonna be a bit careful. That is spot on. That tastes exactly how I remember it. It's fruity, it's spicy. If you don't want it that hot, this is what I would call a medium curry. It's probably a little bit hotter than I anticipated, so I would, if you don't like hot curry, I would back off on the chilies and maybe the chili powder. The madras powder was a mild one, so that shouldn't be the culprit. But yeah, but it's kind of creamy with the coconut. It's creamy. And all the little subtle undertones of flavour, the garlic, the onions, the fruit, everything is there but real subtle. It's all a kind of like a symphony of little flavors coming through, and everything a good curry sauce should be. It's warming, of course, and you can feel it kind of warming your throat. This is so versatile. You could dip your chips in here. You can have it with plain boiled rice and egg fried rice. I'm going to show you how to make other curries with it very soon. Keep watching these videos. Subscribe if you want to be notified of my next ones. And this, oh wow, it's just amazing. My mum did not lead me astray. This is absolutely perfect. It is a Chinese Malaysian curry, and as a tribute to my grandfather, I couldn't be more pleased. It's fantastic. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and join me again soon for more curry recipes, and I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to make meat ones, I'll show you how to make veggie ones, everything in between. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye.